Summer was coming to an end, and this summer was one of the best ones that I've ever had. Lots of friends, beer, food, and fun was had in Cincinnati, but there was something missing. We always talked about doing a trip together, and slowly we were running out of time. Looking for cheap plane tickets, we found a trip from Cincinnati to Dallas for only $40 round trip. It sounded too good to be true, and unfortunately it actually was. But even though the flight was more expensive than we thought, we still wanted to go on this trip. So we got together and we planned our vacation. We were trying to find out what the best day would be, and Labor Day weekend was the best choice. We would only miss one day school because of the 3-day weekend. So we decided to leave for Indianapolis on Thursday night, arriving around midnight. We bought food and got ready for the next day, which was a really early rise.
5:52. We went to bed around 2:30. It's 5:52 now. Yeah, this morning's a little rough.
That morning was rough. Only about 2.5 hours of sleep.
But we headed to the Ozark National Forest in Arkansas. We hiked, camped, played cards, as well as drinking a few beers and telling some good stories. Nobody peed on each other that night, and only one of us froze, so I'm going to count it as a good one. The next morning, we were off to Fort Worth, Cowtown, Texas.
69! Drew was saying that there was a lot to see on this highway. What were you saying about that?
There's a lot of state campgrounds and like state beaches on either natural or man-made lakes. I'm not sure which.
There's a lot to see when we're 69ing, I guess.
After arriving, I got a bit of culture shock. The architecture was like an old Western film, and everyone was dressed as a cowgirl or a cowboy. We had some authentic Tex-Mex at a place called Joe T. Garcia's, a recommendation from the lady that ran our hotel. Her name was Debbie. We shortly ran to a rodeo after dinner. It was really cool to see in person, and a lot of fun. They had bronc riding, calf roping, barrel racing, and bull riding. Unfortunately, we saw a rodeo clown get stomped on by a bull, and he broke his arm. Close your eyes if you don't want to see that in 3, 2, 1.
Woo! Oh, woo! Yikes!
We went out to the bars that night. I didn't bring my camera with me, but we went with Debbie, the hotel lady. We visited a few different bars, but my favorite bar was this place called PR's. Everyone in there was doing the Texas two-step, and it was really cool. I've never seen that before. A few girls even tried to show us how to do it, but honestly, they gave up on us after just a little bit.
We stayed in Fort Worth for a bit that morning. We went to a barbecue place called Risky's. I wasn't in the mood for barbecue, so I got catfish. It was good. We walked around the town, checked out a few stores, and packed up our stuff. I bought a hat. Shortly after saying our goodbyes, we headed to Dallas. The first thing to do was unpack our stuff at our Airbnb. This was my first time using Airbnb, and I highly recommend it if you got a group of buddies. It wasn't too expensive.
This is well worth the money.
Walking downtown, we saw many cool things. We stopped by the JFK Memorial. We also saw where he got shot. Checked out a few different places around town, and a park that one of our friends recommended. Dallas was pretty cool. I had In-N-Out Burger for the first time, and it lives up to the hype. It's a very good burger. Please come to Ohio. Then, afterwards, we drank, hang out, went to a few bars, and enjoyed the night. Again, I didn't take any footage, but the highlight of the bars was definitely riding a mechanical bull. It was awesome. It was finally time to go. Time to make our long trip home.
Bye, Dallas.
We stopped at Little Rock, Arkansas to check out an old mill. We stopped in Memphis, Tennessee to get some barbecue.
So,
and Grace went to see Elvis's house.
We can't really go any further, but that, I think right there, I can't see you in this little screen, but this is Elvis's house, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It was a long drive home. Many of us had to take turns staying up and napping. Drew took over most of that drive. Nice job, Drew. We finally arrived at 5 a.m. It was a great trip with some great friends, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Thanks to the Hubers for the use of the van, and to the buddies who went with me. I hope it all happens again sometime soon.